This is one of two lost episodes that suffered from a horribly misleading promo. I don't blame the producers at all for this, as it clearly wasn't their call, but it should be mentioned. That being said, here's how it was advertised.
Next Wednesday, on an island full of secrets, some can be revealed.
I've never been in love.
I've never had a one-night stand.
Some cannot.
What did she give you? Nothing she wasn't willing to part with.
And there are some secrets.
What are you doing?
Getting even.
That can get you killed.
See for yourselves just how accurate that is as we go on. The flashbacks start way back in Sawyer's childhood with his father killing his mother and himself. Later on, Sawyer's about to do another con when he's interrupted by Hibbs, played by Agent Doggett himself, Robert Patrick. Yeah, sometimes I like to sidestep the obvious reference. Hibbs betrayed Sawyer on a previous job and says he wants to make amends, having found a man in Australia named Frank Duckett, who he says is the real Sawyer. Sawyer goes to Australia and gets a gun from Hibbs' contact. He finds Duckett but can't get himself to do it, though we do find out his name is James. So he stops into a bar and meets Christian Shepherd on his way to drinking himself to death. He babbles about the Red Sox never winning the World Series because some people are meant to suffer. I know what he means. He also says he actually admires Jack for turning him in, though he still won't tell him that. Yes, Jack's ridiculously over-the-top daddy issues are actually intruding into other people's flashbacks now. Christian talks Sawyer into doing what he came here for, and he shoots Duckett. Except Duckett is actually just a guy who skipped out on his debt to Hibbs. And spoiler alert, Hibbs completely gets away with this as we never see him again. Maybe Robert Patrick was just too busy, but you'd think he'd at least get some comeuppance off screen. Duckett tells Sawyer it'll come back around, for no reason except to set up a cheap one-off motif. Sawyer wakes up to find a boar in his tent, and he chases it into the jungle where he hears the whispers, including Duckett's statement of it'll come back around. This will make no sense at all given what we eventually learn the whispers are. Sawyer asks Saeed about them, but then denies he heard anything, because why would you actually want to share that information? Kate returns her gun to Jack, who hand-waves away what everyone thinks about where the guns came from. Everyone besides the main characters will pretty much just be sheep for the entire series run, much like the writers were hoping the audience would be. Sawyer still hasn't returned his gun, so Kate offers to get it back. Jack, remembering what happened the last time she offered something like this, plays the White Knight and says to let him keep it. And his descent to Edward Cullendom continues. Claire has seen some of her memories of Charlie in her dreams and asks if he wants to go for a walk.
I have to do something.
Shut up, Charlie, and you were so good about this last time. Sawyer is attacked by the boar again, and so he gets his gun to go kill it. Kate insists on being part of the story once again, despite admitting she has no reason to. Charlie and Hurley bury Ethan with a pretty funny routine where Hurley worries he'll turn into a zombie, and on this show, who knows? Then it turns out Charlie being a standoffish jerk is actually in character as he's suffering PTSD from killing Ethan. So I'll give them that one, Lord knows they'll need it later. Though I do have to question Hurley saying Charlie shot Ethan 4 times when it was clearly 6 and happened just 1 episode ago. That's quite a stretch just to get a reference into one of the magical numbers. Just wait until a couple more episodes for that. It turns out Sawyer is hopeless at tracking down the boar because now the writers need Kate to show him up and position her as the big hero right next to Jack. She offers to help if Sawyer will let her share his stash.
Where'd you get that?
Playing.
Yeah, you walked right into that one, Kate. They play I Never, which turns into a pretty good scene as they grow a little closer, plus we find out Kate was married and has killed someone. Also this.
Never carried a letter around for 20 years because I couldn't get over my baggage.
No, you carry around a toy airplane. That's much healthier. The next day, it turns out the boar wrecked all of Sawyer's stuff but left Kate's alone. Locke shows up and shares a story about how his foster sister might have been reincarnated as a dog. Thanks, that really helps. Saeed talks to Charlie a bit and tells him not to pretend he's alone. Apparently, that really helps as we'll never hear about his PTSD again. Sawyer gets his hands on a piglet, which disgusts Kate, so she leaves, because this is so much worse than Locke slitting their throats, right? Sawyer finds the boar but lets it live, declaring that it's just a boar and not Duckett reincarnated, because that would just be stupid. But then, why was the boar harassing only Sawyer so much to the point of only trashing his stuff and taking his shirt out to pee on it? I really don't think these questions are too unreasonable. And Kate's suddenly in the scene too, because God forbid a single thing happen on this show that doesn't involve her. Back on the beach, Boone is helping Michael with the raft, so what exactly changed his mind on that? Plus Charlie reconnects with Claire, so that's nice. Sawyer returns the gun to Jack, who mentions the Red Sox not winning the World Series. He explains that his father used to say it, so Sawyer realizes who he was talking to in that bar. But this is the show where everyone is allergic to sharing information, so he keeps it to himself for now. My score for Outlaws is 5 out of 10. The flashback story is pretty good, though it's disappointing that there was no follow-up to it. The island story, on the other hand, is complete filler, made worse by the blatantly dishonest promo. Though I can't blame ABC too much, as how the hell else were they supposed to make Sawyer looking for a boar seem at all interesting? The way it remains completely vague about what the hell was actually going on means the entire story except for Sawyer learning about Christian has no impact on the show at all, and even Charlie's little subplot can be completely skipped as it never comes up again either. Still, it's better than Sawyer looking for a frog. We'll get to that.